What's up, creatives? Welcome to the Tiffy Show. Today, I'm going to be giving you the signs that your man might be cheating on you. If you haven't, turn on notifications so that you know when I post a video. Let's get to it. I'm going to tell you some signs that your man might be cheating on you, and for you to click this video, that means you feel something might be amiss, or you might be overthinking, or he's acting weird, he's acting funny, he's getting text messages, the girl at work is too close, whatever. You clicked on this video for a reason. I'm gonna break it down. First things first, make sure when you get in a relationship with this dude that you're on the same page with what cheating is. In 2020, there's a lot of technology out there, and some girls count a like on a hot girl's picture as a cheat, and some count a full-on side chick. I don't care which one of those is you, I'm not judging, but make sure your man knows what you count as cheating. Early on in the relationship, there are no blurred lines, there's no miscommunication, let him know. And I did a video on micro cheating if you need to go find out what that means, but this video is signs that he's being secretive, cheating as a whole. Also, this is signs he may be cheating. These signs do not mean that he is cheating on you. But I will say, if he's doing more than one of these and collecting them like Pokemon, there might be an issue. So let's get to the signs that your man might be cheating on you. I keep having to say might because some of you are crazy and accuse everyone of cheating on you. Not everyone is cheating, and if you accuse everyone of cheating, that might be some trauma issue that you need to deal with yourself. So yeah, know the difference, know yourself, know yourself. Anyway, at the end of the day, you need 3 legs to stand on. I think that means something here. I thought it was clever to say, but my point is, more than one of these signs is a red flag. One of these by itself might not be a red flag. He's always accusing you of cheating is the number one thing. If he is always accusing you of cheating, it might be a red flag that he is cheating. See, the thing is, when people are guilty of doing something, they assume everyone's doing it and they're super paranoid. When people are shady, they assume everyone is shady. I know that we've all hung out with that person that tells you some shady thing they did as a kid and then ends it with like, but everyone did that, right? Like, I used to steal cars and run over birds, but didn't everyone? And you're thinking, no, just you. That is what I'm talking about here. They feel because they do it all the time that everyone does it all the time, which is not the case. So please pay attention. If your man is accusing you of cheating constantly, then it could be a sign that he's doing it and he's trying to displace that onto you. He wants to not feel so guilty. He wants to have a reason why his cheating is justified, because you're cheating too, right? That's why I'm cheating, you're cheating. And that's not the case. Also, notice if he becomes over preachy about cheating out of nowhere. I'm talking like you're going to the grocery store. He's like, well, that's why I would never cheat on anyone because cheating is horrible. Or he's talking to friends and he brings the topic up a lot to showcase or be preachy about how wrong it is, how horrible it is. That could be a sign that he's hiding something. He's overcompensating for the fact that he's not cheating by cheating, if that makes sense. Anyway, just pay attention if he's accusing you a lot, if he's being super preachy and holier than thou about cheating. They spend more time with their friends than you. Now, I am not saying that your guy can't hang out with his friends and all that, but what I'm saying is if he is constantly hanging out with his friends and you guys have not had a date night, have not hung out just the two of you in a while, yet he's consistently hanging out with his friends every week and going to bars and who knows what, that could be a sign that he's cheating or he's open to the idea of flirting with other women. Guys can have guy friends. If he's going every week and playing magic cards with his friends and you know about it, this is not the same thing. What I'm saying is, if he's making plans, he's not telling you where he's going, he gets agitated if you ask, he's not telling you who's gonna be there, he's very aloof, he doesn't know what time he'll be home, those are red flags. That's not a good sign. That's not even a good way to communicate with your partner. So pay attention, and he shouldn't be spending more time with his friends than he does with you. He should prioritize a date night with you, and then he can hang out with his friends too. So again, I am not saying he cannot have friends. I'm saying pay attention to how much he's hanging out with them and how secretive he's being about what he's doing, where he's going, and what time he'll be home. Also, if he is going out with friends and he is not texting you back and he is like not picking up the phone, and I'm not saying to be a crazy girl that's texting him the whole time that he's with his friends or calling or stalking, but if you're just checking in on him and he's not texting you back like, hey, I'm good or I'm cool, then you need to talk about your communication when you aren't hanging out together, when he does go out with friends, just to make you feel better. If it's an issue and maybe you've been cheated on in the past and something happened, just let him know so that he's aware of where you're coming from. Phone usage. You are in a relationship, you know how much your boyfriend uses his phone, you should know how comfortable he is with you being around when he is using his phone. This is a good way to recognize if he's being weird, is if his phone usage changes around you. If he was a person that didn't care if you looked over his shoulder at the game he was playing, or when he was texting a friend and you said, "Who are you texting?" He's like, "Oh, I'm texting Bob," like if he didn't care, and all of a sudden he's super secretive, he's taking his phone everywhere with him, it's face down, it has a lock screen when it never had a lock screen before. You know, if he's just getting weird about his phone usage, that could be a red flag. If he gets agitated when you look over his shoulder, it could be because he doesn't want you to see a message that pops up or anything that pops up on his phone that he's trying to be secretive about. Now, also, if he's now glued to his phone and he's laughing and like you can see he's happy, because guys can't be happy. We don't like that happiness if we're not the reason for that happiness. You know what I'm saying? If he's laughing at his phone and you're sitting right there, it's like, what are you laughing at? Who are you texting if I'm here? So just ask him. If he gets all defensive and weird, red flag. But if he's just like, oh, this is the joke that my friend just said, or this is the picture they sent me, that's fine. Now, if you notice that he's always constantly on his phone and it's glued to his hip nowadays, and you are texting him when he's not with you and he never texts you back on time, or he takes hours and hours to text back, or he doesn't pick up his phone, or you see that he's like on Instagram or social media and he hasn't texted you back or something, some stalker then that could be a red flag. Just pay attention to it, communicate with him, see what's up. And again, I always say communication is the most important thing. Talk to them, because I want to give this quick disclaimer. Sometimes people are dealing with their own personal issues and they're dealing with things that they're afraid to talk to you about. Could be family issues, it could be anything like that. So don't just automatically assume cheating. You need to, especially with phone usage, you need to talk to them, because sometimes things are private in terms of family situations, and you know, people can get sick, or there could be financial problems or anything like that. So just make sure you communicate, and sometimes you'd be surprised that it's not as serious as you think. So just don't always jump to cheating, okay guys? Their schedule has changed. When you are in a relationship, you get used to someone's schedule. You know when they're working, you know when they're gonna come home, you know when they're at school, like you know their schedule. So if all of a sudden their schedule is getting crazy weird and you're like, what has changed? They haven't got promoted, their title at work is the same, you know, they're working at McDonald's, and you're like, I know when you make fries, and all of a sudden you're taking trips, like work trips to the McDonald's headquarters, we need to talk. Like, you know when things are getting weird. Like if they're having a lot of late nights at work, or they're having work trips out of nowhere and their job was never a job that had work trips, then you need to pay attention and start seeing those signs. It just can get too coincidental that they'll have like late night. It's like, what are you working on? So just pay attention if their schedule starts to have consistently big, weird changes that kind of make your gut feeling go, okay? My last point is if you ask them and they get super angry, defensive, like it starts an argument, they can't believe you asked them that. Now, of course, know yourself. If you accuse them every single day, every week of cheating, this is not for you. Like, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the person that has a healthy relationship. Things got a little weird and they ask for the first time if homie's cheating. So if you're a girl that you know yourself, if you ask him every second of the hour, then he might be a little agitated that you asked him for the 100th time. But if this is your first time asking him, hey, are you cheating? And he flat out freaks out on you, doesn't know why you're asking, blah, 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 that could be because he is doing it and it's like a guilt mechanism. Also, if you ask him and he answers with a question, this is like a psychology thing. It is because he's, sorry, I don't know why I said it like that. Okay, if you ask him and he answers with a question, it could be because he's trying to think of the lie he's going to tell you, and he is using that question time to give him some space. So basically, if you go, are you cheating on me? And he says, why would you ask me that? That is him trying to think of his excuse instead of just saying yes or no. If you go, are you cheating on me? No, of course not. That's an answer. If he answers with, why would you ask? It's a question, and that's because he's trying to buy time. Or it could be because he's trying to buy time. So I want you to pay attention to how he reacts. Never ever ask a person through text message. Don't ask them through text message. Don't ask them on the phone. You need to ask, if this person's your boyfriend and you're dating, you need to ask them in person, because your gut instinct is going to work the best in person when you can see how they react to your question. So you need to brave up, like woman up, and ask him straight to his face if he's cheating and see how he reacts to you. And then pay attention to how you feel about that answer. And if you accept that answer or not is up to you, but do it in person. So don't wimp out and do this through text. That allows for him to be able to craft a really poetic answer to you, or through phone. Like, don't do that. You need to see his face. You need to see how he reacts. So that is what I have to say. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you share, like, subscribe, and comment below. Let me know any signs that I might have missed, and I will see you next time. Stay creative. I was gonna say, let me know the last time you were cheated on, but I was like, that's such a weird question to ask. Like, no, so let's keep it positive for the end of this video. Let me know if you've ever cheated on someone and your ways that you do it.